This is transitional words in sequence. Lesson number 2, sentence starters and sequences, part 2 of 3. Again, transitional words in sequence. Lesson number 2, sentence starters and sequences, part 2 of 3. All handouts and PowerPoint presentations are available at magichatwritinginstruction.com. All PowerPoints and handouts are available at magichatwritinginstruction.com. Transitional words in sequence, lesson number 2, sentence starters and sequences, part 2 of 3. The objective, use the handout sentence starters number 2 to write a paragraph. So you're going to need the handout sentence starters number 2. Go to magichatwritinginstruction.com and print out that handout. You will need the handout before proceeding with the remainder of this lesson. You should take out the handout. Make sure you've got it on your desk. You absolutely cannot do this presentation without the handout. Transitional words in sequence, sentence starters number 2. Handout looks like this. Please have this handout on your desk. Sentence starter number 2 gives you new categories, new word phrases, and more options. What we're really working towards here in this particular lesson is getting you to start to mix up your sequences so that you can put your categories in your own original order, which will give you some more creativity in terms of how you design your paragraph, but it also will help teach you exactly how the logical purpose of each sentence works and how it connects to the previous sentence. So we're going to start with the basic prompt, how was your summer? We're going to use sentence starters number 2 handout, and we're going to move much more quickly than we did in the last lesson. You might want to start with the list here if you're more comfortable with that, so you can start with the list for things that you liked or didn't like about your summer, but I'm actually going to proceed without a list this time and go more quickly through the prompts so you can see how to respond using the handout. Now there are many different sequences that we can use from handout number 2, sentence starters number 2. I am going to use this following sequence. I'm going to start with the sequence category, then I'm going to go to a similarity, third consequence, sentence 4 addition, sentence 5 emphasis. You do not have to use this sequence, but for the model response that we're going to do together, this is the sequence we will be using. So identify on your handout these categories: sequence, similarity, consequence, addition, emphasis, and let's get started. So for our first sentence, we're going to select from the sequence category, select a word phrase from this category, and let's start writing our response to the question, how was your summer? Again, here's our handout. This handout should be very close to you right now because you're going to continually refer to it when completing your response. Right now we're still working on our first sentence, which we decided that we would use the sequence category for our first sentence. And here is my first sentence. First of all, my summer was horrible. You now should also have your first sentence. You've selected a phrase from the sequence category, and you wrote your first sentence, your opening sentence, your topic sentence, your main idea. Hopefully now you've got an idea here that is broad, general, and inclusive so that you can start to support it with details. This should be a familiar process because you've already completed the controversy rights from the previous lesson. So I selected the word phrase moreover from the similarity category, and I have basically elaborated on my topic sentence. So I'm telling you now why my summer was so horrible. Why was it so horrible? Well, moreover, I got sick and almost died. Now I'm selecting from the consequence category, and I selected the word phrase as a result. And what this as a result does is it allows me to explain the effect of the previous sentence. So I got sick and almost died, sentence number 2. What was the effect of that? Well, the result of that was I spent most of the summer in the hospital. So I got sick and almost died, and as a result I spent most of the summer in the hospital. You should also have, for your consequence word phrase, a sentence that follows from, is the effect of, what you wrote in the previous sentence, sentence number 2. Now we're going to our sentence number 4 category, which is the addition category. I chose furthermore, and I'm going to expand on other reasons for why my summer was so horrible. Furthermore, my girlfriend dumped me. So this is really in addition to getting sick, almost dying, my girlfriend dumped me. So what I want you to see is that this addition sentence really goes back to the second sentence, where you're going to put a new reason in, a brand new reason. And now make sure that both reason in sentence number 2, I got sick and almost died, and the reason in sentence number 4, my girlfriend dumped me, make sure that these reasons agree with your topic sentence, my summer was horrible. So let's make sure they do. Well, I got sick and almost died. Yeah, that agrees with my summer was horrible. My girlfriend dumped me. Yeah, that agrees too with my summer was horrible, so I'm good. Everything agrees with the topic sentence, and I'm ready to write my 5th sentence. So finally, I'm going to conclude my paragraph with an emphasis word. I chose truly. And I'm really, again, going to re-emphasize my first sentence, but I'm going to do it in such a way so that it really stands out to the reader and hopefully allows the reader to remember my paragraph. So what did I write? Truly, the summer of 2014 was the worst summer in the history of the world. Obviously, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it accomplishes the purpose of really sending my point home to the reader. And given what I've written in this paragraph, it's not that much of an exaggeration. After all, I almost got sick and died, spent most of the summer in the hospital, and my girlfriend dumped me. So it was really a pretty terrible summer. You also now need to write your final sentence and make sure your final sentence stands out without repeating your first sentence. So you want it to stand out and accomplish the point of driving your main idea home, but do not repeat your first sentence. Okay, before moving on to the next presentation, I'm going to ask that you answer the same question, how was your summer? But now you need to write your own sequence. So what you need to do is first refer to sentence starters number 2, the handout. And for each sentence number, we're going to assign a new category. So what category do you want to start with? Now we ended with category emphasis category. You might want to start with the emphasis category. You might want to move right into a consequence category for sentence number 2. You might want to do an addition category for sentence number 3, and even an example category for sentence number 4. By this time, you should have a basic idea of how the logic connecting the word phrases and the sentences, how the logic works. So you should be able to have some confidence when you select the category for your sentence number. After you've selected your category, after you've gone through and you figured out which category you're going to use for each sentence number, now you need to choose your word phrase. So let's say I start with my emphasis category for sentence number 1. I'm going to choose truly. Or I might choose above all. So above all, my summer was absolutely beautiful. Or maybe I'll choose truly. Truly, my summer was wonderful. So after you've selected your category, you've given your category a sequence, and now you're selecting your word phrase. So go ahead and respond to how was your summer with your new sequence and new word phrases.